The easiest time to quit a goal is either when life is really good or when things become challenging. For example, right now I'm in Orlando on vacation right now, and I almost didn't make this video, but I kept thinking to myself, I'm the type of person who follows through, and this is important to me as a discipline thing to keep posting regularly. Not because I like it, not because I'm trying to become famous, but because I am building consistency. Uh, I can't rely on motivation. Here's the thing, motivation comes easy when the conditions are perfect. So if I'm at home, I'm sure most people watching can relate to this. Feel motivated when if I'm at home and my schedule is predictable and I have a routine that I do every day. It's easy for me to feel motivated and to do the things that I know that I should do. But right now, I'm in an unfamiliar place, somewhere I've never been before, and I still need to follow up and do the things that I know that I do. So I know that my consistency is not always going to be tested only when things are going to be easy. So the question I'm asking myself and that I'm presenting to you is what happens when life interrupts your routine? So think about it. Sometimes we get sick, sometimes tragedies happen, sometimes unexpected events pop up and interrupt our routine, interrupt our flow, interrupt our discipline. What is it that we do then? I don't think that consistency means never missing. It doesn't mean that there aren't days or times where I don't show up. But I think that's how a lot of us are raised to think. Like, for example, if I miss a workout or if I miss a post like this one here I was going to do, or if it's something else that you can relate to, you miss a day doing that thing, all of a sudden it's easy for us to feel like we're off track or we're not being consistent. That's the whole point. But that's not the case. And that's not actually how consistency works. Missing one day doesn't matter. Or let me say it like that. In the grand scheme of things, if you're consistent and and you show up for whatever you're going after more often than not, missing a day doesn't matter. Matter of fact, I would say that it's normal. We all have days where we, let's say, get sick and we're too sick to follow through. Or we get days where maybe a family member is ill or something in life interrupts and we can't do the thing that we normally would do. So that's a normal thing. Or even like right now, it doesn't have to be anything extreme. Like I'm on vacation. This is I'm in a totally different state, doing something that I've never done before. Never been to Disney World, but I'm planning on going. Maybe that's oversharing, but I still wanted to make sure that I do what I'm trying to do here because life happens. And the point that I'm coming back and circling around to is that it's not missing one time what hurts us. It's having an identity or a mindset that because you miss once, then you're done. That's not. That's what I'm challenging here with this video. Because being consistent is not about being perfect. I would say that being consistent is returning to your baseline as fast as possible. So it's getting back to it, getting it after it, as Jocko would say. Um, Returning after the interruption. So the pause happens, the interruption happens. You go right back to doing the thing at the next available rep. And keeping promises to yourself, even when it's not convenient. That's something that I've been going over here for not too long, but saying it specifically like that, I keep promises to myself. It's something I've been doing for the last couple months. It's important that you tell yourself and that you show evidence that you are the type of person that keeps your promise. because that's basically, if we can boil down identity from what I remember when I was back in the university, identity is, I would say, like an algorithm of our brain predicting how we're going to respond and the type of person that we are. So, for example, am I the type of person who gives up when things get hard? Am I the type of person who follows through despite how I feel, what my mood is saying, of the circumstances? I think that's, keeping promises to ourselves, especially when it's inconvenient. And I'm not, trying to tell you to destroy your life or destroy your body. Use common sense here. But if you keep promises to yourself, you'll trust yourself more, and self-worth goes up. And that's not something that is just automatic to everybody. Some people just have it. They just automatically keep their promises to themselves. Some of us, it's a skill. Some of us, it's something that we have to develop one rep at a time. So, honestly, I think that's why this video is important for me to do. So I'm posting it here. Maybe somebody will watch it, maybe somebody won't. But it's proof to me that I keep my promises. I told myself, starting out, I'm not a YouTuber, I'm not a content creator. When I started this, I told myself, what is something that I would, if I could talk to myself 10, 20, 30 years ago and give them information, what would I say to that version of me? And then I elaborated and said, like, so there's people out here that are in their 20s and 30s, younger than myself. If I could give them information that I learned through corporate, that I learned through, university, I learned through my career, just in life in general, if I could give them some, perspectives and outlooks, what would that be? And so one promise to myself is that I would do one video, long form anyway, a week, and at least 2 shorts a week. And so that's why I'm doing it. So I could make the excuse like, well, I'm on vacation. I'm just not going to do this. I have internet access and I have a camera. So I don't see, and I'm just sitting here. There's no reason for me not to do this. But this is just a real life example. I've been walking around a state that I don't know, going to different places and being pretty active, spending a lot of time with my family. This is an out of that ordinary event for me. And the truth is that I almost skipped it. But then my identity starts saying, I'm the type of person that follows through. I'm the type of person that keeps promises to myself. I've set a standard. Maybe you've never heard what a standard is. This is something that I had to actually define, because something I heard in passing a lot, but the way I defined it for myself, I made my own definition instead of looking at Webster's. I think a standard is the smallest amount of behavior that you are willing to accept from yourself. What's the bare minimum, as I hear a lot of people say? What is the bare minimum standard? Action, not thoughts, not words. What's the bare minimum standard of action that I'm willing to accept from myself? And that standard here, like I said, is 2 shorts and 1 long form, at least 5-minute video. I don't see myself being on here doing 30 minutes or an hour. I'm not that type of person. I don't talk much. But I'm setting my standard. I'm keeping my promise. So I want to keep my promise, not because I feel super motivated to do it, but because I'm someone who returns. So anyway, to wrap up, I say most of us don't fail because we miss a day. If any failure is going to happen, it's because we stop returning. And if you've fallen off somewhere in your life recently, don't give up and don't accept that as your new reality, especially if it's something that you want to achieve in life. Just start again today. And if it's too late to start today, start again tomorrow. When's the next time that you can start? And what's the minimum amount that you can do? Start there. build from there.